The sharp snap of canine teeth tearing through fabric echoed like thunder across the bustling airport terminal. For a split second, the world froze. People turned their heads, security guards stepped forward in alarm, and a mother cried out in panic. A customs canine dog, a large, powerful German shepherd, had just lunged at what appeared to be a harmless pink diaper bag lying on a security table. But this wasn't just any bite, and this wasn't just any dog. As the fabric shredded under his jaws and the contents of the bag spilled onto the cold metal surface, what was revealed didn't just shock those nearby, it changed lives forever. If you believe in kindness, second chances, or the unwavering loyalty of animals, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, Pawsitive Tales. These real and emotional stories help remind us that behind every moment, there could be a truth waiting to be uncovered. Your support helps us keep telling them. It had started as an ordinary morning at the airport. The usual parade of travelers dragged luggage, clutched boarding passes, and sipped coffee from overfilled paper cups. Families hugged goodbye, business travelers checked their phones obsessively, and the crackle of the intercom offered barely audible gate change announcements. But among the crowd was one woman who moved differently. Alina was barely in her 20s, yet her eyes told the story of someone who had lived through decades of hardship. She walked with quiet urgency, pushing a slightly worn stroller that held her 3-month-old daughter, Layla. The diaper bag on her shoulder was a vibrant shade of pink, worn at the corners and bulging with its hidden weight. From a distance, she looked like any other young mother navigating the chaos of travel, but beneath her calm exterior was a heart racing with fear. Just 6 months earlier, Alina's life had spiraled into darkness. What began as a hopeful marriage in a small border town had quickly turned abusive. Her husband, once charming and full of dreams, had changed after losing his job. First it was drinking. Then came the shouting. Then bruises. The day she found out she was pregnant, she thought maybe he would return to the man he used to be. But the violence only got worse. Her daughter was born into silence, no family celebration, no proud father waiting with flowers. Just a terrified young mother, holding her baby tightly in the night, whispering promises of safety she had no idea how to keep. Alina had made the decision to escape one sleepless night when Layla cried from hunger and she realized there was no formula left, no money in the house, and no one to call. She would leave. No matter the risk. A distant cousin connected her with a women's shelter hundreds of miles away that helped women disappear, change identities, and begin again. They helped her secure a temporary passport, cash, and a fake name. Everything she needed to survive was hidden inside the diaper bag, stitched between layers of fabric, wrapped inside fake formula containers, buried beneath layers of clothes and wipes. The bag didn't just carry diapers and bottles. It carried hope. As Alina approached the customs checkpoint, her heart threatened to betray her. She tried to appear normal, smiling gently at Layla, whispering soft lullabies even though her voice cracked with anxiety. Behind the checkpoint stood several officers and their canine partners, each trained to detect threats. One of them, Ranger, was a striking German shepherd with deep amber eyes and a quiet intensity. He sat patiently at his handler's side, but his ears twitched as Alina approached. Ranger didn't react at first. He didn't bark or growl. But his head tilted, nostrils flared, and his posture shifted ever so slightly. The handler, Officer Jensen, gave him a subtle signal to sit, but Ranger refused. His eyes were locked on the pink diaper bag now resting on the inspection table. In a sudden, fluid motion, he lunged, not in aggression, but with certainty. He bit directly into the side seam of the bag and tore it open. The room erupted in tension. Officers surged forward. Travelers gasped and stepped back. Alina screamed, reaching instinctively for her baby. Layla began to cry. The contents of the diaper bag scattered: baby clothes, formula, diapers, and something else. A large manila envelope slid across the table. A USB drive clattered to the floor. A thin book of photographs, wrapped tightly with a rubber band, lay partially exposed. A closer look revealed documents, restraining orders, hospital discharge papers, a birth certificate, and a letter addressed to someone named Mary that read, "Please help us. We have nowhere else to go." Captain Ross, the supervising officer that day, stepped forward and slowly gathered the papers. He was a man of quiet authority, respected for both his sharp instincts and his empathy, traits not often found together in his field. As he glanced at the documents and then up at Alina's trembling figure, he felt the heavy weight of understanding settle into his chest. It wasn't guilt. It was recognition. Alina was taken to a private room with Layla, not under arrest, but to talk. Ranger, meanwhile, remained outside the door, ears alert, as if he refused to be separated from the child he had just protected. Officer Jensen leaned down and whispered to him, "You knew, didn't you?" Ranger simply sat, tail thumping once against the floor. Inside the room, Alina broke down. She told them everything. How she had endured the beatings. How she'd secretly contacted a safe house. How everything she owned and needed was in that bag. She hadn't meant to lie. She was just trying to survive. The officers didn't see a criminal. They saw a mother trying to save her child. Captain Ross called the contact listed in her documents Mary, the safe house coordinator. Within the hour, Alina was officially released into their care. No charges. No threats. Just a quiet agreement between good people who decided to help. Ranger was brought into the room one last time before she left. As if sensing what had happened, he gently nudged Layla's tiny foot with his nose. She cooed softly, and for the first time that day, Alina smiled. Weeks turned into months. Alina and Layla settled into a new life. The shelter helped her find work, and eventually a small apartment. The bag, now patched at the corner where Ranger had bitten through, sat folded in the closet, not as a reminder of fear, but of rescue. Captain Ross received letters now and then, always with pictures. One showed Layla learning to walk, another with her hugging a giant stuffed animal shaped like a German shepherd. The final picture arrived with a note. She says her first word was dog. I know why. At the airport, Ranger continued his work, a little older, a little slower, but still sharp. Whenever new officers joined the team, they were told the story not from an official incident report, but from the mouths of those who had seen it unfold. They called it the day the dog saved a family. And maybe that's what it was. Not every bark is a threat. Not every bite is violence. Sometimes, it's protection. Sometimes, a dog doesn't sniff out danger, he sniffs out pain, and he chooses to act. If this story moved you even just a little, please like, comment, and share it. These are the stories we need in our world. These moments of quiet courage, of unlikely heroes, of mothers who never give up, and animals who understand us more deeply than we know. Tell us in the comments below, if you had been there that day, what would you have done? What does loyalty mean to you? We read every comment, and your thoughts are what keep these stories alive.